All right, welcome to Freedom
Welcome,
Expressed.
welcome, welcome.
My name is always Espar Nindeba,
My name is Mado Janvier.
and yes, it's always a pleasure to be here and to have another conversation with another conversation with you guys. And so, yeah.
I would love to be here with this fly guy. See the sky with the coat.
It's cold. It's been cold here in Texas.
No, it's freezing.
It's like California is burning. We need to pray for California, first of all.
We do.
We need to pray for California, but it's been freezing here. And California, it's fire. We don't know what started it. We don't know what's causing it. I guess, but just continue to send your prayers to those people over there. But man, you look fly too. What are you talking about? You look fly.
Came out of heaven.
Hey,
Guilty.
it's exactly. But no, mate, it's always good to be here. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful, great year. But yes, how's your new year? Do you have like a New Year resolution? Do you believe in that type of stuff, or
My New Year's resolution was to be alive. And
to be alive
Yeah. So
in
that's-
like literal term, or like
no. By the grace of God, that one is checked off. So I think it's just to live more authentically.
Yeah.
And escape the idea of living in my mind and make things practical in real life.
How is this year feel like it's going to be different from your previous, I guess, years? And I don't even see it as years. I don't know. Go ahead, answer that question first.
No, because you're a magician. Because that brings us right into our topic. I think it's the idea of breaking free from the patterns of the way that I used to think
Yeah.
that kept me in my mind, that kept me in like the routines and cycles that even I don't like, but yet I continue to reflect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I don't know. It's always interesting because this whole concept of breaking free, right, or breaking in that sense. But also even just like the reason why I say how is this year going to look different than last year is because it's so I don't in my mind it's always about perspective, about like like I'm entering when January came, like we entered it as if it's literally a door that I'm opening and I'm in January. But it's just another day. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just another day, and so and which is why this concept of breaking free is like, because it has been lingering in my mind, because certain things that we're breaking free from are mostly the things we've used to capture ourselves.
To capture ourselves.
Yeah, we've. I think you mentioned this last time, like with the tools that you're given from your environment. I think that plays some sort of factor into now you trying to like create like another system of your own within the system, because this is how society has taught you that you need to function. And so everybody's always longing to buy this, to build this, just like to buy a home or to build a home. So in a sense, like we've built this thing that ourselves we've used to capture ourselves, to imprison ourselves, let me say that.
What a word.
So in a sense of just, and that could be education, that could be your culture, that could be whatever environment that you might in, that you've never really assessed until you get to a certain realization. I don't know. What do you think about that?
To imprison oneself, I think it's a wild perspective, because in a way, that is what I did to myself. Because it comes to a point where that prison becomes safe.
Yeah.
And so, although you hate it, you also enjoy the fact that you can predict it.
Yeah.
And so, wow, I imprisoned myself in maybe the first few months in that prison.
Yeah.
I hated it. But then after a while, I became the prisoner and the guard.
Oof.
You
Like,
know.
whoa, man, you have the keys and it's like it's like your bedroom,
Mm.
right? It's like, um, man, and which is why, I don't know. Every single time whenever I tend to see people, I love people watching.
Me too.
You know, I love people
Me
watching.
too.
Some people might think it's weird, but I just love seeing people and how they
Mm.
go about their day, and just how we all kind of have the same purpose, but just like different gifts, right? And how we like use those gifts to still acquire that same purpose, right?
Wow.
But then again, you tend to see how some people have never really discovered those gifts, and it's due to either their whatever circumstances that they might have been in, or the families that they were born into, or the society that they live in, or what the system of the world have like convinced them, like, okay, this is what this is who you're supposed to be doing, this is, and so, no, you brought up something that really like made my mind keep going with the whole thing of like you're the prisoner and the guard,
Yeah.
right? Like you're holding the keys, and but then again, it's just like, when, I guess it's a question to you to ask, like, when do you get to realize that you're not the prisoner, right? And when do you get to realize that you're the guard that's keeping yourself like in?
The funny thing that I started to realize is there's no prison at all.
Mm.
So there is no guard or prisoner. It's literally just
Come
perspective.
on. Yep.
The word that you dropped in the beginning. It's
Yeah.
like these people that was in your primary environment
Mm-hmm.
when you were a kid, man, they had certain things forced on them
Mm-hmm.
at maybe when they were kids,
Yeah.
and they told themselves this is the way of life.
Yeah.
And so they sold you that same story,
Yeah.
but it's just a story.
Mm.
You know, man, the idea of being a prisoner in the guard
Mm-hmm.
is just a story that you give to your mind. The mind is so powerful that it will change that story into reality.
Wow.
And so it's like, so have you ever been through a time and space where maybe life wasn't going the way you wanted it to go?
Yeah.
And then you told yourself, man, either you wanted to diminish a quality of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or you wanted to just completely change your behavior 1000%.
For sure.
But what we don't realize is we're creating a boundary within ourselves,
Yeah.
but at the same time, we are also creating a prison right then and there. It didn't exist
Wow.
before.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, and then we're guarding that. So we limit ourselves. I was talking to my friend at my job, and he was like, "Yo," he said, "I hate it here, man. I just want to go home." I said, "Your car's right there. Go home."
Right. Right.
And he's
Right.
like,
Right.
"Nah, I can't do it, man."
Right.
He said, "Why?" He said, "It's just not done."
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, "Well, it can be if
Yeah.
you wanted to
Yeah.
be done."
Yeah.
And that's what I'm starting to realize. Like a lot of things that I would see in life, and I'd say, "No, I'm not doing it."
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why do I say that?
Right.
Why do I kill things before they start?
Oh my! You're making my brain, you know, work right now, because, like, in that same example with your friend, it's like he can leave anytime he wants.
Yes.
Like, there's literally not. But then again, if you think about the thing that are holding him, is maybe the responsibilities, maybe it's the bills, maybe it's the, so it's the things that are not physical. So yes, he can pick up like keys, and yes, he can go turn on, he can go home. But I think just because of this environment that he's already in, that he created, right? Now there's repercussion because of the seeds that you've almost kind of planted of this new environment of yours. That if you don't do what you normally do, that system is going to fall, and you're going to fall with it. But maybe that might just be, you know, what's needed for you to maybe kind of get to I guess, your gift or get to where you want to get to. But I think because of I don't know. I think it's always like the external or the internal forces that maybe plays in role into like your friends like, man, I want to go home right now, but I can't because I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this. So that paycheck is needed, right? And so realizing of like, okay, why or when from that person was a baby until they're now an adult, where right did where do they go from like, okay, I have all the freedom, I'm in this safe environment with my family and stuff like that, and then to go to like, okay, I've started to created this thing, I live on my own now, I do this thing, and now this thing, like, things are hard, like, where in the mind, where in the psyche has that prison been built?
I think, let me ask you a question
Yeah.
because now you said something that sparked my mind. You said if the system falls, they fall.
Hmm.
So do you believe that they're identifying with the system? It becomes them.
It's attached to them because they built it in terms of uh, uh, there were the other systems around, right? Other parties around have given them the tools, right? But they themselves built it. So because they built it, they kind of put their identity on it. So when he falls, because it's attached to them. It's not who they are, but it's attached to them, right? It's like he falls with it. It's almost like tying yourself, right, on weights, right, and then you know just like going in the pool, right, and see if you can float. No, you're gonna go down because those weights are heavy. You're gonna fall down with those weights. So certain systems, certain things that we've built, or certain, I guess in that same example, that that system falls with that person because of you know the weight of it, and the full purpose of it.
So in order to break free from that type of paradigm,
Hmm.
do you think that it's safe never to attach? Should we live a life of non-attachment?
No, I think it's less of an attachment, but more of awareness. Being aware of what you are touching yourself with, being aware of what you are choosing to, uh, um, like what you're choosing to, the decision that you're making.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
fully being, like knowing, okay, have I assessed this thing enough for me to actually do this, or am I just doing it because of where I am in life right now? Like everybody's doing it, so I need to do it, or this is how life has always been, right? You are a kid, you become a youth, you become a teenager, you become a young adult, and then you go to work, and then you get married, and then like, is this how this system that has is this how it is, or it doesn't have to be that way, right? Or can you forge your own, so I think sometimes it might be the systems. I don't know, what do you think?
It's a hard question because now that I'm thinking about the way that you just took the question, it gave me another question to ask. Like, Ispa, because if my okay, now you gave me the mindset of to analyze what I desire in order to choose a system that I want to be in,
Yeah.
and analyze what I've been built around
Hmm.
to see what I can now construct and customize to fit me.
Yeah.
You know, but how do you not get stuck in analysis paralysis? You
Mm.
know, those people that like, it's so much information and I don't know what to choose.
Yeah.
And so I just said, let me just sit down and I just keep studying or
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
learning. But I never decide because it's such a weighty decision.
Mm.
Because if I built the system,
Yeah.
I'm responsible for the system.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a lot of responsibility. So
Yes.
how do you go? I asked two questions there. But the
Yes.
first question is, how do you not fall into analysis paralysis when building a new system for yourself?
I think you gotta go back to where you learned the information to build that system. Like it's not customizing this system to fit you. It's to even see if those tools that this system is giving you, if they're the right tools for you to use.
To completely reject the system.
Complete, or like it might not even be your system, right? But you forcing yourself to live in this. It's like a lion living in like a, like a horse's stable.
Mhm.
That's not its place. You know what I mean? That's not its environment. But if all the lion knows is, like, ever since he was a baby, it's always grew in the with horses in the, in a horse stable, it's probably gonna think it's a horse, right? So it's the same thing with us. It's like we do certain, for example, like the school system, right? We go to school when we're kids, right? They teach us all these things, the basics, and then, but I don't know, within it, there have to be some sort of plant or seed that they're planting, because if you look at the way it's structured, if you look at the way it's run, if you look at how, like, if you look at the formula, I'm a formula guy. If you look at the formula, it's like elementary, middle school, high school. But the setting of the class is the exact same way throughout, right?
Interesting.
And so, but whatever you're being taught, right? You they teach you to go to work within a system. Like, you're gonna finish, you're gonna get a degree, you're gonna go and become a teacher, you're gonna go and become a doctor, you're gonna go and become an engineer, you're gonna go, right? But it's not until there's selective few individuals, right, who tend to be like, well, how can I use this information now? How can I customize it now? Of How can I customize it to my fitting? You know, like, okay, yes, I can go and go get I mean, I can go and go get a job, but why can't I start a job? Why can't I create a company? That they don't teach those things at school, right? And so it gets to a point where, like, it's always the environment. Oh, I'm sorry, I know we keep using environment a lot, but like, it's always the tools, right? That it's, in a sense, you're replicating what you were given,
Yeah.
and you're fitting yourself within that replication,
Yeah.
and you expect yourself to be like, okay, this is where, because this is what we all do, so I'm supposed to be here.
Mm.
But you're
That's a
not.
powerful statement. This is what
Everybody's
we
unique.
all do, so I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, it's like, it's, like, but, and it's the whole thing of brainwashing. It's the whole thing of, like, breaking free from, like, because, like, if you, which there was an experiment that was done by scientists, where, even you see it everywhere. If there's a group of black people, I'm saying black because I'm black. There's a group of black people, no matter where they are in the world. If there's hanging out and they see somebody just get up and just take off, most likely everybody's gonna get up and take off,
Absolutely.
right? They're not gonna ask questions. Nobody's gonna be like, "Hey, what are we running from?" They're gonna ask where we're running from once they get to a safe space.
Yes, sir.
So they were all right. So
100%.
we're like, as humans, there's a broader version of that with all the humans, to feel safe, the sense of safety, the sense of, like, okay, I don't want to feel left out, right? So my community is doing this, my environment is doing this. Yeah, we're not gonna ask. Let's just go, So I think that might be the reason why.
Well, okay, so them being so attached to the system,
Yeah.
because it's part of them. Like you said, it's like you're wearing weights. You tie the weights onto you,
Hmm.
throw the weights into the water in the pool, and then you fall with them.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so the topic of today is breaking free.
Yes.
So in order to break free, give me the best way somebody can decide to begin now to shift their identity from that weight that they tied onto themselves.
I think the very first thing is for you to know that you're drowning, that you can't breathe.
Ooh,
You know,
stop right there. Because could that be what depression is?
Yeah. It's like you need to first realize that before you even realize that there's weight on you, you need to know that you're drowning, right? And then knowing that why you drowning is that because of lack of like oxygen. So that means you can't get oxygen from anywhere. So there have to
Wow.
be steps of why before you know it's like if I'm not aware that I'm drowning, I'm just in the water, just suffocating, and eventually I'm gonna die.
Mm.
But if I'm aware that I'm drowning, then I'm gonna get to a point where like, okay, I need to. What can I use to cut this rope or to cut this weight off so I can swim back at the top?
Mm.
Or actually, am I? Do I have the capability to swim back up with this weight? Because there's some people who are trained, right, to do that. They're strong enough, right, it, to swim because of how strong they are or how great swimmer they are. So I think to break free, you first have to start into first seeing, kind of almost like playing back, right, into like how did you get here? How did you start? Where is the seed of this?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, and then from there you just start slowly unwinding and unpacking and uninstalling that whatever that how you ever you got there, because it might take, there's some things that takes 2 seconds to disassemble, right, to break down. Some other thing that takes you a couple of hours to take down, right. It all depends on how that thing was built.
So would you say it's always important to go to the past in order to go further in the future?
It's not really the past. Well, yes, it is the past, but in the sense of you're not going in the past, you just, instead of going, you just seeing. You're like, I guess in the way I can say, just like it's like you dragging a weight. Let's say you're walking, you've always like you're dragging this weight, but it stayed on one point, but the rope of that weight, you just keep going and it's heavy, but the weight is still over there, right? So the past, in terms of just like it's you going back to that weight and untying that rope, but you still have that rope on. Or you can know that, oh, you can see that past, but you just have to cut the rope, right? Or untie the rope and just keep going. So because there's no way you can change the past, right? You can't change what's like that already happened to you. I think what you can change is once you realize what, like, where you are, how stuck you are, this thing that's holding you, then that's when you make the decision to move forward. Do you know what I mean?
You know, I love what you just said
What's up?
because you said a couple of things here, and I'm like, guys, if you need to like rewind to watch it again, I think you should.
Okay, I don't even know what I'm saying, by the way. Sorry,
You know,
go ahead.
but hey, glory to God, because it's hitting all the points.
I appreciate it.
But there's one thing you said. I just want to rewind a little bit back. You said you have the capacity as well to swim up with the weight,
Yes.
so it doesn't always have to be cut off.
No.
And I think that's so interesting because a lot of people adopt the mentality that it's two extremes. Either I
Yeah.
go with it or I completely leave it alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But what would it look like if I matured in my mindset
Yeah.
of how to manage it?
Oof.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
And then just thinking about the idea of tying the weight and then falling into the pool and you drowning. It's such a passive view where wherever the weight takes you, you go.
Yeah.
And the idea of now swimming up intentionally
Yeah.
with the weight is you now deciding where you go.
Yeah. But also the blame of like some people put the blame on the weight. You can't. The weight has the exact same purpose. It's weight according to how it has a certain amount of weight that it has. But the purpose of how this weight is being used, you can use it to make yourself strong, or you can actually kill you.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? And so the blame is not on the weight.
Yeah.
The blame is how you're using the weight,
Yeah.
right? So also that's also another thing that just came to mind. But also another thing, like I guess a question I can ask you: what do you like that the breaking free? What to you like with this? How our conversation is moving and what we're talking about? Like what does it mean to you?
Honestly, to break free, you need to leave the mindset of statements
Mm.
and into the mindset of questions.
Okay, talk more about
Because
that.
that's what you said. You have to ask yourself, how did I get here?
Mm-hmm.
You have to ask yourself, why did I pick up these weights?
Mm-hmm.
You have to ask yourself, what are these weights doing for me?
Yeah.
We have to ask ourselves, is this reflective of the life that I want to live?
That's good.
And if it's not,
Yeah.
okay, what is this life doing for me that I don't want to leave it?
Mm.
Because me blaming the weight while knowing how to swim
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
life of avoidance.
Yes.
So why am I avoiding the big question in my life
Mm.
of, Mado, what would it look like for me not to be drowning right now?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
you spoke of the fact that there's no oxygen in the pool.
Yes.
So as I'm drowning, I can't breathe. So in my everyday life, I'm going through the emotions, but I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm anxious.
Yeah.
I'm depressed.
Yeah.
But I'm blaming the weight. It's the job's fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's society's fault.
Yeah.
It's the taxes.
Yeah.
It's my lack of good community
Yes.
relationships.
Yes.
But it's like, what in you told you that you can't decide to change these factors? What in you has allowed you to become a guard for the prison that you're in, whereby you hate it here,
Yeah.
but you're also preventing yourself to leave?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And a lot of people are like, oh, you don't know my circumstance. I can't do nothing about it. I have to submit to
Yeah.
the idea that my life can never change.
I guess another question following that because at the beginning you also said, which is so not it's amazing, that you sometimes are the prisoner and the guard, right? And so for somebody to break free, right? What I guess in a sense of in the mind, because to me that's what the prison is, right? That's where the whole battle is. That's where everything is. That's where the action is. How does what do you think people, or what do you think that in your opinion people feel stuck, or they have this thing of like I don't know, like I don't know how to move forward? What's that thing that you feel like makes them like that block?
So, awesome question.
Yes.
And it brings my mind to the place of when you're in the prison, right? Because we created the prison. Are you the type of person that wants to leave and better themselves? Or are you comfortable with the environment?
Okay.
Because in every prison, there's an appetite that is fulfilled. And so that means there's a sort of meal plan.
Okay.
And so while you're in this prison, you have a choice. If you surround yourself around people that glorify the prison, that give you the idea that this is how it is. It's painful, but you can't do nothing about it. So you guys sit down and you complain, then you're feeding yourself complaints. What in the complaint will allow you now to overcome the situation? Nothing. But then you realize that in certain prisons, you'll find people that read.
Yeah.
You find people that pick up a new skill.
Yeah.
You'll find people that, get their college degrees.
Yes.
And then when they leave the prison, they've bettered their life.
Yeah.
So to not be stuck, you have to ask yourself, what are you doing in the prison? If it's not something that you like,
Yeah.
is it like you've accepted it as a thorn in your side for the rest of your life? Or are we going to seek medical attention?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
going to try to do something different?
Wow. Yeah. No, like while you were saying that, it's like the thing that came in my mind was like actually knowing the resources you have
Yeah.
at that time. We were like you said, like in the prison, right? Some people, I mean, and this is exactly what we see, right? But some people actually do read, and some people finish school while they're in prison,
Right.
right? Some people,
Read the whole Bible.
the whole Bible. Some people but also some people just don't do anything. Some people join the gang. Some people, right? So, but all those prisoners, they're all there,
Mm-hmm.
and all those resources are there, right? I think it's just like you always have a choice, right? Depending on where you're at or the environment that you're in, right? And so, like, how can you use what you have to break yourself free?
You know, the funny thing about that is you only see what you want to look at.
Mm. Oh, okay,
And
that's good.
so,
Wow, you only see what you look at.
and the thing about it is, like, let's say you're looking for a new car, and so you start looking at Toyota Corollas.
Mm.
Out of nowhere, you'll be driving on I-35, and
Yeah,
all you'll see is Toyota Corollas.
I know that's crazy.
You know,
Yes, yeah,
or you'll be thinking about doing a certain different gym
mm-hmm.
membership,
Yeah,
and now you'll be your mind is more attentive now to
yeah,
conversations surrounding
right.
gym
Yes,
memberships
yes,
and weight plans,
yeah,
and now you're looking at food things
yeah,
because the mind will only show you what you want to look at.
yes, yeah,
If I'm trying to break free of my prison, but I'm feeding my mind complaints,
mm-hmm.
my mind will give me things to complain about.
Yeah,
And the funny thing about it is, what people don't realize, your mind doesn't understand jokes. So when you're like, "Oh, I'm stupid," well, your mind takes that as a fact. Your
right,
mind has no
right.
idea that you're joking
Mm-hmm.
because when you say "I am" and you attach the next
Yeah,
word,
yeah,
you become that
yeah. It's a contract you're signing.
because it's a contract you're signing. It's a
Yeah,
self-fulfilling prophecy.
yeah,
But guess it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Let's break that down. Myself is fulfilling my prophecy.
yeah.
And so if I don't like prison, what can I do to get myself out of it?
Ooh, yeah, right. And just even knowing the option that like you can get out of it, right?
Yes.
Again, we're talking the prison we're talking about. It's in the mind, imprisonment. But this is such an amazing concept of because like it came up because of everywhere that I see people. It's like there's like a common. I keep bringing formula, but there's like a common algorithm, right? That's among them. That's among us. And I'm like, okay, is this due to our own choices? Is this due to the hand that I was dealt, right? The hand that I was given, right? Is this due to because you have some people who are from, let's say, Africa, and they probably live like in a refugee camp, and they get here because of what U.S. is giving them, or the resources that they're being given here, and they get they learn the system, right? They learn the language, they understand the customs, and then eventually they revert to, I guess, depending on who they surrounded themselves around here, they get they ended up, let's say, getting caught into a bad, get hanging out with some bad friends,
Wow.
and so that person, or let's say the mother of that youth, or the mother of that person, or even them sometimes say, oh, they blame who? The US. But if I was back home, this would have happened. And this is why I'm just like, I don't think it's the US. Resources are resources anywhere you go. Like, you were in Africa as a refugee because of the resources that were there, right? That place that you were in, you had to deal with what you had, right? And so it's so funny how we're always customizing ourselves to the environment that we have.
Brother, you just said something so powerful.
Do you know what I mean? It's like we anywhere we go, we always customizing ourselves or diminishing ourselves, or we format ourselves into the environment that are in at that time,
Wow.
without properly assessing, that environment.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? I guess, but then again, I guess the question I can ask is, how do you assess that environment? How do you realize that you don't have to customize, or do you have to customize yourself to that environment? because of what this place is bringing you,
Wow.
right? That's a question that I'm asking.
Yeah, but slow down. Like
Just like
you
you know,
said a lot of man, you said we're always customizing ourselves to our environment. And then before you said that you surround yourself with people.
yeah,
So you're surrounding yourself with people and then customizing to that environment.
yeah,
So when you don't realize that you're doing it, you're drowning.
exactly,
You know?
exactly. I think you just answered the question.
It doesn't take much
Yeah,
to find good people.
Mm-mm.
And people are like, I don't know where to find them. Well, first of all, ask yourself what qualities in you that you want to reflect.
yeah.
If I want to be smarter at math, and there's some kids in school
Yeah.
that are always staying after, always
Yeah.
studying, I need to be willing to look at the resources in my environment.
Exactly. Yeah.
But a lot of humans believe that they're stronger than they are.
Yeah.
No, we're very malleable. Meaning the way that we mold to whatever environment that we're in, you don't even notice it. Your
No,
lingo,
I know exactly.
your lingo will change.
Exactly.
The way that you
Oh
mean
my
for certain
gosh.
things will
Yes.
change.
Yes, bro.
Some people like I have a mind of my own. Nah, I don't do that. Like, I can think for myself. You don't realize you've already begun to change.
Yes. That's not you speaking. That's the molding that you've already, that's the new you now.
Yeah.
But how do one get to, man, we're getting on how does one get to a realization that they can change, that they have enough power and the ability, right, to make major difference and shift this environment. Like you don't have to mold yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about society giving you something, like the hand that they're dealt.
Yes.
How many hands do we have? 2 hands,
We
right?
have 2 hands.
There's always another hand,
Yes.
but you only see what you want to see.
Yes.
And so if you're only preoccupied with focusing on the left hand, you miss the right hand. And so people will be like, this is my circumstance. This is how I grew up. This is what I've been through. I can't do nothing else. Yet, there are those that wake up in the same circumstances but are doing something totally different.
Oof. Yes. Yes.
And
yes.
so while you're focused on the left hand, they notice the left hand, but they prioritize the right hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you have to ask yourself, okay, is it my whole environment?
Yeah.
Or am I just closed-minded to one particular view of my environment? You know?
Wow. Yeah.
Because it's scary when
Wow.
we're so addicted to negativity
I know.
that that's all we see.
It's like, and this is another question. Why you this still there? Like what's this? Why can't we see that? Why can't we, like why are we so blind to recognize that?
It's why my brother, you said it. We customize ourselves to our environment.
It's the customization. Why, like while it's literally like you.
Yes.
Oh my God! Yes,
You're reinforcing
you reinforce.
that mentality by the environment you're surrounding yourself with. And so
Wow.
Marcus Aurelius has a quote that he says, it is the responsibility of leadership. Everybody's a leader because you own yourself.
For sure.
So it is the responsibility of leadership to work intelligently with what is given.
Yeah.
And not waste time thinking about flawless people and perfect choices.
Yeah.
So whatever you're given in life, it is your responsibility to work intelligently with it. Not submit and surrender.
Yep.
And think about what my brother said. When you tie that weight around and you fall into the pool, you're passively drowning.
Yeah.
But you feel the symptoms of drowning.
Yeah.
And this is why it's like you want to survive.
Yeah.
But also you can't breathe.
Yeah.
What will you do now to get yourself breath? You can swim with the weights.
Yeah.
That's an analogy for people that are in circumstances whereby you're still a kid. Or
Wow.
maybe you're in a toxic relationship that you can't yet break free from. Instead of just allowing yourself to drown, learn how to swim with the weights in order to get out of the pool to break free of it. If you can't cut it now, because you have to prioritize not drowning and you have to swim, find yourself people that can allow you to swim,
Mm.
that can teach you how to move with the weight, that
Yeah.
can give you tips and tricks. Because I'm telling you, people
Wow,
get into a
wow,
mindset
wow.
whereby they believe
Wow.
I'm the only one going through this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, you're not. There are people who have gone through far worse and yet still made it to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is, are you guarding yourself from not wanting to go to the
Yeah,
other side?
yeah, yeah,
Are
yeah.
you stopping yourself?
Yeah.
When you go to swim with the left hand, there's a right one, grab it and bring it down.
Yes. Yes. Bro. And you say something that's very powerful, right? So you say how sometimes we always feel like, oh, I'm the only one going through this.
Yeah.
Like you will never know. But because we've chose to customize ourselves in this environment, and if I live with people in that environment,
Yes.
most likely there's a percentage of some people who are gonna be going through, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because we're all in this environment.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So, and I think it's not until you see a different perspective and a different, right? It's like how an African, a Chinese, or whatever, how they come into to the United States, right? Their perspective of it. How an U.S. person goes to those countries, their perspective of it. It's like which is, you said something to me that's very profound. It's just like, it's not like we're not even aware when we're customizing. You know, like whenever I go to China, first I'm going there to visit because it's beautiful, right? But eventually, if I stay there longer, the more I stay in that environment, the more likely I'm going to feel comfortable. So just slowly, my body's just going to move to the frequency of how these people from this place are now moving, right? Because it's a shift that everybody has been I don't want to say mind control. Everybody has been
Cultured.
cultural controlled, right? That we all move to this same beat. We all move to this same rhythm. No, I don't know. To me, like the whole like we move to the same. I don't. That's the part that gets us. It's these things that us moving to the same rhythm. No, because like my rhythm and your rhythm, it might be at the same tempo, but if I keep following you, eventually, because I'm not fit like you are, I'm gonna wake up sore. I'm gonna break something. Something's gonna tear, right? So I think we always get to a point where, or we have to get to a point where, of like, how much have you customized yourself to this environment, right? And so I'm out here trying to be like, oh, like, why am I always like this? Or why am I always like this? See those people from that place.
Yes.
Is this a common thing in this place?
Yes.
If it is, get out.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But is it that simple though?
I'm glad you asked. Because the thing about people, man, is once they realize they hate their environment, they begin now to look at ways to get out of it immediately.
Yes.
Know? And so they'll come across a YouTube video where the guy's like, man, I hated being back home, so I went to California, I bought myself a mansion. Or I hated my job, so I just put my resume out there and I got like a six-figure job in the tech field. And you're like, man, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
No. You customize yourself little by little.
Yeah.
I used to live when I was back home. I didn't like where I was at. And I was praying, God send me a mentor. God send me a mentor. God, please, there's somebody to see my potential. Because I couldn't see my potential.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe in myself. So I was praying for God to just send me somebody. And then I started listening to a sermon. Then I started listening to audiobooks. Then I started listening to this other pastor and this other pastor. And that led me to this YouTube channel. And then God willing, I customized my Instagram whereby now it's all like motivational, deep, reflective ideas. And then God said, Mado, you're surrounded by mentors.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't see them.
Yeah.
Where are they? And then God said, it's what you listen to. Because you're in the prison.
Yeah.
But you have an option to ask yourself, what am I feeding myself?
Yeah.
Because if I'm feeding myself the culture of the environment, how can I ever shift from it?
Yes.
If my appetite is it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So you need to now understand, one, you have a high tolerance for this place.
Yes. Exactly.
And so to leave, you have to break.
Bro.
That's what it's breaking free. Breaking free is a verb.
Yes.
Breaking is a verb.
Yeah.
It's active.
Yes.
not passive. So you don't get better by thinking better. You get better by doing better.
Exactly.
I may have the idea that I don't like this. That's a thought. But if I don't do anything with that idea, I will continue to reflect
Yeah.
my environment.
Yeah. Like the art of acting on that thought,
Yes.
right? Just like it's one thing to have the thought,
Yes.
but then be careful when you speak it, because that speaking part of it, when you it's no longer a thought and you bring it out into the world, like you said, you become that. And so I think it's like having that thought, right? But while it's still there, converting it into actually or doing exactly opposite of what that thought is telling you to better yourself, right? But I mean, you were talking about how specific with social media, right? And I was watching a podcast, Trevor Noah's podcast, and he had Marquez Brownlee on there, the tech reviewer, and they were talking about algorithms and how they work, and then they got to the whole TikTok ban, right? And how the senators and the U.S. government is now about to ban the TikTok, and one of the senators ended up asking, and this was what the thing that was on his For You page, right? And it was some disgusting things, right? And he was talking to the TikTok people, were just like, hey, it's crazy how like any kid can see this on their phone, and then the TikTok people were just like, sir, so the way the algorithm works is like this is what you like to see, so it gives you what you like to see.
What a way to expose yourself.
Right? And so it's just like, so all those kids, they don't see the thing.
Oh man.
Like you're seeing that because you like to see those things. So the way these algorithms are trained, they give you what you like. The thing that you ask, they give it to you. Right? It's the same thing with YouTube. We like every single time somebody posts a video on YouTube, they probably think like, oh, this video is going to go to YouTube's going to get it, and then to just randomly share it to as many people as they can. Whoever gets on it clicks on it. No, but it gives it to the people that are also interested in your type of content. People that search, who like to listen to certain things. So any algorithm is not just, and I'm saying this because we're doing it without even knowing it. Like we're putting it within the AI and the tech, right? And we're seeing it there, but we're not seeing it in real life. It's like the life is giving you what you like,
Yes.
what you choose, what you think, what you like what you. It's the same algorithm.
Same thing.
It's exact same algorithm that this is what you see.
Yes.
And because this is what you see, your perspective is saying, hey, this is what everybody sees. Everybody must be seeing this way. No. It's not how you're working in life is not how I'm working in life, right? But if all I'm viewing this life is how I see it, right? Depending on what I've liked and what I've learned and what I've, you know what I mean? That's going to shape me. So it's like you said, but you said something really amazing. You said on your Instagram, you had to go and delete certain things, and you had to tell Instagram, hey, I don't want to see this content anymore. Like you can go, shout out to Jamin showed me on Instagram where you can go and literally like the things that you don't want to see, you can block them off. And it's you telling Instagram, hey, I don't want to see this type of stuff anymore. I want, and so, but it's not until you go and you do it. But Instagram or any other whatever social, they're never going to be like, oh yeah, Mado, let's not show Mado. No. Because what you ask it is what it gives you. So in life, it's the same thing. What you ask life is what it gives you.
That's why. Hello. No, yeah, this is good, man.
Hi.
This is so rich.
Yeah.
Because ask him when his For You page got like that. He can't tell you.
No.
Yet it got like that.
Exactly.
So ask yourself when you shifted to your environment. You can't tell me. But all you know is your lingo has changed.
Exactly.
Your thought process has changed.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing life the way you used to. Ask yourself when you develop these sort of behaviors.
Yeah.
You can't tell me.
Yeah.
But they're there.
You're there. Exactly.
So you're not as wise as you think.
Yeah.
So be careful not to overestimate your capability to stop yourself from doing certain things without knowing.
Yeah.
Because you don't know.
Exactly.
On my Instagram, when you watch a video and you realize you don't like it, there's a way you can say, I'm not interested.
Exactly.
And there's a way to say you're interested. Same thing with life. You have the ability. Maybe you're stuck in the environment for
Oh
right
my word.
now, but there's certain conversation topics that your friends bring up. You have the ability to say, I'm not interested.
Yeah, yeah,
You have the ability to say, okay, oh, we're talking about drugs again.
yeah,
Okay, I'm trying to shift.
yeah.
I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're talking about drinking again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to shift. I'm not interested. But let's say that same friend comes to you and says, hey man, like, I really want to get into money. I want to learn how to start
Yeah.
like finance stuff. That's your opportunity to
But-
say, I'm interested. You know? If that's what you try to do, not just say,
Oh.
man, that stuff is
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, yeah.
No, that's your ability to say, I'm interested.
Yeah, yeah.
When your teacher says, oh, we're doing a new assignment and we're doing this assignment about this, maybe you want a brainiac in school.
Yeah.
But if it touches your heart, and this is a professor
Yeah.
that you feel like can give you extra value past the classroom, that's your ability to say, I'm interested.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
don't know what type of doors are open for you because you're always looking at the left hand.
Man,
Everything
yes.
is negative. You're missing the right
Wow,
hand.
wow.
The right hand
Yeah.
is when you live in your shoes, first person living in a present
Yeah.
lifestyle,
Yeah, yeah.
you're able to say, I'm interested in this and I'm not interested in this.
Yes.
It's a breaking. To break free, you have to break. For me to change my algorithm, I had to break the current algorithm.
Yeah.
I had to break the current pattern of things that I would be seeing.
Yeah.
But it's active. It's active. It's consistent and it's active. What do you want to see in your life?
Yeah.
And if you can't get up and move, you can get up and move in your
Yeah.
head.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
The selection of your thought choosing process of what you like is all it's up here.
Yes.
It's not in the physical world. When you go in to hang out with your friend, whenever you choose to pick up this bottle, to smoke this, to whatever whatever tools you're using to imprison yourself, you decided up here. You before you even So I'm just want to say the decision making process happens up here.
Yes.
So that's where we need to be aware. Where like on the phone it's physical because I double tap, I can swipe, I can whatever. You swiping and you double tapping in your mind as well. And so now, like the screen shows you, it gives you the thing you've already liked. So your mind also kind of even your thought process change.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even your thought process change. So I think it's man. And so realizing the type of algorithm, right, that your mind or the type of things you're seeing in your For You life page, right?
Because that's for you.
That's for you,
Do you want it?
right? But also just like actually knowing that you can break free.
That's why I have to tell you something.
Go ahead.
This analogy that you brought up is amazing. I've never thought about it like this.
Mm.
That we have algorithms that we're running currently in life.
Yeah.
And it's for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we don't see it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how. It's a very powerful thing to notice. Is what you just said. That, wait, I can control what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
What I'm investing in.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I can see. Oh,
Because it's DNA, right? It's literally our core.
yeah.
We have an algorithm of it's within us because it is your birthright to live the life that you want.
Wow.
But I think
Wow.
also with the choices you make comes what Spider-Man says it or Uncle Ben said it. With great power come great responsibility, right?
Wow.
But also the consequences of those responsibilities as well, right? It's like with those choices comes great consequences. And so make sure you assess those both sides. Yes, you might not know the consequences of this choice yet, but I bet you there's somebody out there who can give you an example because of how customized, because of the environment that you were in.
Yes.
We're talking about customization. Within, you're not in that environment by yourself. I can promise you that. There's somebody who, I'm not saying they're going through the exact same thing you're going through, but there's something similar. So you're not alone, right? you're not alone. But I think just because you don't know the consequences of this, you can learn from that person who've been who've gone through it. And so yes, you can live the life that you want to live, and that is your choice, and that is your birthright, that is your given right, right? Everybody was born to be a leader, right? And so, but the consequences of the things that you do, right? Also know that either be at peace with it, accept it, right, or actually, if you want to do something about it, right, you have that option, breaking yourself free.
I just want that to breathe. I just want that to breathe. This man's been on fire the whole night.
Oh no,
This is
but
amazing. Glory to God.
no, but
Like I'm just thankful to be here.
no, but this has been great for the both of us. I think this concept of even at our church, right? We're doing 21 days of prayer and
Yes.
fasting, and so I think my mind is really sharp right now, and I'm like assessing a whole lot of stuff, and so you know, just I don't know. Again, we like watching people, we like observing people, and so it's always interesting to just see, or realize, like, again, and everything that I said here, this is my opinion. Right? You can take it as how you take it, but this is how I view life, right? And so I'm just realizing that the life that I've customized, or how I've customized myself, the environment that I've customized myself to fit, I'm greater than that environment,
Amen.
and you are too. And you are too. So
Oh my days. This has been a captivating moment.
yes.
Just thinking about how we are able to break free.
Mm.
Nobody's coming to save you, but you are capable to save yourself.
Yeah.
That's why before we go,
Yeah.
can you just summarize that algorithm idea one more time?
Yeah. It's the more you look at life, the more you tend to, I don't know, like, the more you analyzing life, or the more I'm analyzing life, is the more you tend to see how we create, like, certain things that we create tend to teach us about maybe what's actually going on, because it's not by coincidence that we have this whole algorithm idea of how things work, right? How the baseline of what's driving this thing to be this way. If I can teach a machine, or an artificial intelligent thing, to think like a human, to act like a human, it has the image of the creator who made it, right? Um and so if all these things that we're drawn to, the social medias and how they work, I just apply it to life, and so to me, that's what made sense of, like, this whole concept of an algorithm, right? It's what you choose to like in your mind that life shows you. Like, you said it, and this is where my mind got it from. Because at the beginning, when we're talking about, you said that in your mind, if you want to buy a new car, right, and you want a Toyota Corolla, most likely what you see on the road is Toyota Corolla. When you said that, it planted something in me that was just like, whoa, okay. And then this whole algorithm thing came from the podcast that I've heard, right? Also, like, what they've, like, said about it. So I was just like, wait, okay, that's so true. Because it's not that there is now many Toyota Corollas everywhere now. No, 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 no. It's just like now your mind has been shifted, right? To only whenever there's a Toyota Corolla, it notices, because that's what going on at that time.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with everything in life. Life shows you what you want to see, right? It shows you want, and that's the algorithm. It's if you want to see something different, look somewhere else. It's as simple as that. If you want to see something else, think something else. Not even see, like, think, because we mentioned how the I'm not a tech guy, so I don't really know the proper term for this, but, like, the chip, right? The chip is the brain. It's That's what the hard drive is. So recalibrate that chip, right? To think differently, to act differently, right? If I want to add anything else to this phone, right? If I wanted to do more things to project things here, I'm gonna have to add something on its hard drive. And so I think with us as well, it's not even adding more things to our hard drive. I think it's even like taking things out of our hard
Yes.
drive. And so,
Yes.
but yeah, but the algorithm is just like being aware, right, of what you're liking, right? Because there's gonna come to a point where for you to fully say, "Hey, okay, I don't like this anymore." You know, this is I don't want to watch this anymore, right? Whenever you get to that point of like you don't want to do that no more, you tend to search up something else that you want to watch, right? But in that moment, you're enjoying it. Like you're there's this like drive, there's this like thing that this rush that goes into all like this is funny to me. I enjoy this content that made me happy. I do this, right? Or somebody who's addicted to whatever and they like to watch certain things, you know. And so, but it's not until you actually choose that in your mind, right? You start to okay, I want a better life. I want this. I want to get better mentally. I want to grow, stronger mentally. Yes, you're gonna have to shift and let go of certain things that that you're gonna have to change your algorithm to something else.
My people, you heard it here first. And this is not about social media.
It is not. It's not. Yeah. But also, before we finalize, tell me about that aspect of algorithm. But also how that ties into like how we can break free from from those algorithms or from just the whole concept of breaking free.
I think it's taking a step back and asking yourself the question, why is this on my For You page?
Mm.
In terms of making it practical, in my everyday life, what am I seeing constantly? Why is this a repetitive thing?
Yeah.
These friends drink. After drinking, I go home. I drink again, or I smoke, or lust and sex has been dominant in my mind. What is feeding my For You page?
Yeah.
What am I liking?
Mm.
Liking in the sense that maybe I'll be listening to music and my music is sexually based. Then I'll go to watch a TV show and I'm only watching sexually based TV shows. Or, in my spare time, the music that I listen to is mostly like drugs, violence, and sex. Those are all what's on your For You page in your mind. And so you will constantly look for it and see
Yeah.
those type of things. And then that validates what you need to break free from.
Yeah. Tell our viewers about what we mean by For You page. It's nothing to do with social media.
Not at all. This whole conversation was not about social
It's
media.
got nothing to do with social media.
It's your mindset and your brain. Everything in your brain, you've cultivated for you because you're the person with the brain. This is your brain. And so if you don't like what's going on up top, you have to ask yourself, what have I been feeding it? What have I been tapping into that allows me now only to see things in this manner?
Yeah.
Because some of our brains are addicted to negativity.
Yeah.
And it's not for no reason. It's because all we feed it is negativity.
Yeah.
We won't outright say that we're negative people, but the things that we claim to listen to,
Yeah.
to believe, to be around is
Yeah.
all negative.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it's not constructive, it's destructive.
Yeah.
But what is it destructing? What is it disrupting?
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Wow. No, that's beautifully said. That's beautifully said. I think to finalize, right, and kind of concluding, it's really important to start. It's important to break free.
Yes.
It is important to break yourself free, because you know you were meant to be trapped. You were meant to be trapped. You were meant to leave this earth free, but also leaving your mind free, right? And so, I think it's important to start realizing the people and the things that we've invited in our mind to play this pivotal role of like who's consulting you in your mind, right? Who's writing those algorithms in your mind. I think it's really highly important to be aware of that. And so if the biggest thing I can probably say to finalize this is please be aware of what you're liking. Be aware of what you're putting in your mind. Be aware of what you're reading, what you're listening to, what you surrounded yourself by, the environment that you're surrounding yourself by. But also also another thing is, see the environment that you customize yourself to fit, and see what's within that environment. Maybe it's going to give you a solution of, wow, okay, I'm this way because of where I am,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so it's not until where you decided to literally start breaking free from that environment, from this place that you customize it, that you formatted yourself to fit, right? I think it's important to, if you're not in a place where you're happy naturally, you need to remove yourself from that environment,
Don't
right?
protect that which destroys you.
Yeah.
Be curious about what can build you.
Mm. Mm. That's good. Dude, I'm not even, that's beautifully said. That's whatever he just said. That was amazing. But man, again, we're always thankful for you to just having this conversation, and us having this beautiful podcast, and the conversation and your wisdom and your knowledge, bro. Just it's beyond. And so and a lot of people have been given some amazing feedback of from your words, from the things you said, and a lot of people have actually been getting a lot of helpful stuff from you. So I really appreciate you, and yeah, man.
I'm happy, man.
Yeah.
Likewise for you. We're just God's vessel of honor.
Mm.
God allows us
Yeah.
to invest in people as He invested in us.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
we're just grateful to be able to have you guys watch and
Yeah.
care enough to be curious about another form of thinking.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Well, this has been Freedom Express.